What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Lockdown 23 and 1. First and foremost, my respects go out to all the veterans out there, but today we are going to be jumping into the courtroom, ladies and gentlemen, to witness two individuals get smoked for their crimes. First up, we got a guy by the name of Tory Deshaun Casey. He's charged with first-degree criminal sexual conduct. And you might want to go ask Granny for her doilies because this guy's about to cry like a baby. And of course, we're going to be traveling down to Michigan. So if you enjoy this type of content, ladies and gentlemen, all things lockup related, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, notification bell before you leave. And check out my playlist with a wide variety of content for you to choose from.
Tory loves his family. His family loves him. He's been away from his family now almost a year. He's been in jail. He needs to get out of jail, and he needs to get a job to support his children. He now understands that, and he has a family that's going to support him in that, a very responsible family. They're going to help him with that. 25 years, 30 years, Your Honor, given the facts of this case and given Tory's criminal history, there's nothing proportionate about that. And we would ask the court to consider a sentencing that's well under the guidelines in this case, Your Honor. For that reason, Tory, with some education, some job training, is ready to get out and be a responsible member of society. And I would ask the court to consider sentencing him to well under the guidelines.
I don't think
Casey,
so.
what would you like to say before I impose sentence in your case?
Ooh, what do you got to say? Nothing.
I've read the report. We've scored this on the sentencing guidelines, which I indicate are advisory after the Lockridge opinion.
You couldn't even apologize to the victim? Guaranteed Smoketown, man. Guaranteed.
Listen, everyone in court, I read the sentencing memoranda. I read the attachments to the report, including the victim impact statement. I presided over the jury trial in this matter and listened carefully to the witnesses that testified. Among the more brutal of the CSCs that I've had the misfortune of presiding over my 10 years on the bench here, the defendant took the victim to a rural area and brutally beaten and raped, and there is a history of violence. Kalamazoo has no place for you here. When I look at what sentence is reasonable, and that's the question that the court has to answer, probably one in the middle of the guidelines is reasonable. What's the middle of the guidelines? That's 48 3/4 years at the minimum. Given your age, however, that could be viewed as excessive. In the end, when I balance all of these factors, it is the sentence of the court that you'll be confined to the Michigan Department of Corrections for a period of not more than 60 years, not less than 35 years. You have credit for 298 days. You'll have a chance to request a restitution.
Was that him crying like that?
You have credit for 298 days. You'll have a chance to...
I got 4 daughters, 35 to 60, that ain't nowhere near enough time. But chances are, nowadays, the way prison's been going, he might not even live to see the low end of his sentence. Those inmates ain't got time for dirty charges. Next up, we're traveling down to Kalamazoo, Michigan. Mr. Ezra Howe is about to speak his mind before he gets sentenced for second-degree murder of Mr. Solomon LaFleur. Now, before we get into the courtroom, let me give you a little backdrop on how Solomon ended up losing his life. So, of course, it started over something petty. It turns out Mr. Ezra had something stolen from his room. He thought it was his roommate that did it, Mr. Solomon. So he decides to confront Mr. Solomon about all the stolen stuff, and he denies everything. But Mr. Ezra did something that we do in prison called eye hustling. When you look into a cell and kind of scan it out without people knowing that you're actually scanning it. Yeah, that's what he did to Mr. Solomon's room, and he's seen some of his possessions on the floor. So Ezra tells Solomon, I'm about to leave. Go ahead and pack your stuff. I want to see you gone by the time I get back. I'm guessing because while the dude's supposed to be packing up and leaving, Ezra comes back a little too early and finds him literally in his room stealing more stuff. And then, of course, a verbal altercation turned into something physical where Ezra shot and killed Mr. Solomon. It says Mr. Ezra shot the man in his back. The left back shot went through his liver, left lung, heart, and right lung. This is a prime example of how things can escalate from, petty theft to murder and life behind bars.
First, I wanted to correct something the lawyer had said. He said it was an unfortunate situation. I disagree. I believe it was outright wrong. What I've done is the worst thing that I've done in my entire life, and I haven't had good night's rest since then. I know what I've done is wrong. I can't go to sleep knowing that his family is going through this pain. Every day, I would hear him on the phone with his mom and how happy he got. I saw when he interacted with his daughter and how happy it made him. And knowing that that can't happen anymore tears my heart inside. There's nothing that I can do that will ever make up for the terrible deeds that I've done. And I understand that she wants me to do more time. I believe I deserve everything that is coming to me, and no matter how much time I'm going to spend in prison until the day I die, I will not be able to get past this. I can't forgive myself. It was my best friend, and there are no words to describe how terrible I feel about it. Whatever you decide, I believe it's justified.
Well, before we hear what the judge has to say, and this clip ain't too long, it's straight to the meat and potatoes, but do you think he was true about what he said, or just saying what the courts need to hear? You would think someone that remorseful would get a few tears, but who knows? Not everybody's waterworks works the same, right?
There's nothing about what your life was like up to September the 4th that would even send any such signal that you would be in my courtroom for anything, much less this type of event. The negatives are stark and clear, and you stated them, and Ms. LaFleur has stated them, the police have stated them. That is, you did, in a fit of anger, something that you should not have done.
Jeez, you hear that guy down in Central booking? And my apologies, I don't think I'm going to be able to do a courtroom analysis with this one. I mean, only thing I got to work with here is a glare.
This is a situation where your uncontrollable anger, or upset, or whatever it was, plus the addition of a firearm, when added together, now leads to Solomon's death.
Yep.
It's inexplicable in so many ways.
Treacherous, Your Honor.
It's not unfortunate, it's not avoidable, it is flat out criminal and inexplicable. How you took whatever disagreement you had at that moment with someone who you still find to be your best of friend and turned it into multiple gunshot wounds in his back even, causing him to die, and then you leaving, not doing anything to try and save him, but leaving the scene and the state while he laid there. I can't even get my arms around that. And I have no idea what Adrienne LaFleur and the other members of her family are going through. And I see awful things on a regular basis. I can't speak about the loss that the LaFleur family is facing any better than what Adrienne wrote in her victim impact statement. How she was able to actually put it down on paper is almost beyond me, but
That's right, Your Honor.
a good man was shortened for no reason. None. And those people that were close to him, those people who needed him, close family members, child, won't have that. And the fact that you will be thinking about this every day is a minor consequence compared to what they have to go through.
Yeah.
And it is certainly my hope that you will, each and every day, think about what it is that you have caused in terms of misery. And somehow, within the years that you have remaining, you behave in a manner such that you make his life, however short it was, a little bit more meaningful based on your positive behavior when you have that opportunity.
Now, I don't know why they didn't just show the guy, give him the smoke, but he got 25 to 30 years, and you would think he was going to get life by the way the judge was speaking, right? Anyways, look, that story I told y'all about how everything went down was actually what Mr. Ezra told his girlfriend, and his girlfriend told police. So who knows what could have happened. Whenever someone dies, I mean, look, he can't speak for himself, right? So the only person that can speak on the situation that you can rely on given the truth of anything is the person that committed the crime. And of course, chances are they're not going to tell you the full damn truth. They're going to paint that puppy to make him look like the best that they possibly could. Anyways, he shot his best friend in the back. And you know what? That shit don't surprise me. It don't surprise me one damn bit. Welcome to 2022. Look, be careful with your friends, regardless of what kind of situations that the person might be stealing from someone. Look, the guy went and grabbed a gun, took it to a whole nother level. Why would you need to grab a gun, period, to deal with your best friend? Makes no sense to me. That guy was probably plotting and planning to do whatever he wanted to do. Either way, ladies and gentlemen, hopefully you learned something today. You know, if someone steals from you, if someone, you know, does physical harm to you, it might not be nothing too serious. You know, you don't have to retaliate with something much worse. But as always, I salute every last one. You've been supporting me since the beginning, and everybody who's just now joining the lockdown compound. Y'all be easy, be safe, and stay free.